And so we're going to begin by remembering words of Pir Murshid Inayat Khan from last month. And the text that we heard was from the Mysticism of Sound and Music. And Murshid said, "The one who learns to tread the spiritual path must become as an empty cup in order that the wine of music and harmony may be poured down into their heart." So this passage is in teachings we heard on spiritual attainment. And it offered us insight into unlearning in relation to the iron rules that Farhad has been sharing each month, and also on becoming an empty cup, the path of surrender. So we continue with further teachings of Pir Murshid Inayat Khan, from this text on spiritual attainment. So Murshid, life is just like the ocean. When there is no appreciation, no receptivity, a person sinks like a piece of iron to the bottom of the sea. They cannot float like the boat, which is hollow, which is receptive. So here Inayat Khan is giving us this metaphor of the dense heaviness of iron. And we might consider the relationship of this to the iron rules. Here's this word iron again. And through the iron rules, Inayat Khan reveals to us those elements of our nature that fill our heart with denseness and that can cover the light of our soul. So we also heard from Wally van der Swan, who writes about the teachings of Murshid Inayat Khan in The Journey of the Soul. And he opened us to understanding the relationship of the iron rules to unlearning, and this process of becoming conscious, seeing through our socialization, kind of seeing the many layers of our ego self. And he spoke of this in reference to these words of Inayat Khan. The process of spiritual attainment is through unlearning. Spiritual attainment from beginning to end is unlearning what one has learned. So through this process of the iron rules and unlearning, we empty our boat so that it may be light and hollow, floating on the ocean of life with openness and receptivity to all that comes. So let us journey further into this teaching on spiritual attainment. Pir Murshid says, the whole of life in all its aspects is one music, and to tune oneself to the harmony of this perfect music is the real spiritual attainment. You may ask, what is it that keeps one back from spiritual attainment? The answer is that it is the denseness of this material existence and the fact that one is unconscious of their spiritual being. What do I mean by this denseness? There is a rock, and you want to produce sound from it. It does not give resonance. It does not answer your desire to produce sound. But the string or wire will give an answer to the tone you want. You strike it, and it answers. There are objects which give resonance to sound. You wish to produce a sound in them, and they resound. They make your music complete. So it is with human nature. One person is heavy and dull. They cannot respond to music, to beauty, or to art. What is it? It is denseness. There is another person who is ready to appreciate and understand music and poetry. Beauty in any form, in character, in manner. In every form, beauty is appreciated by such a person. It is this which is the awakening of the soul, which is the living condition of the heart. And it is this which is the real spiritual attainment. Spiritual attainment is to make the spirit live, to become conscious. When one is not conscious of soul and spirit, and is only conscious of the material being, they are dense. They are away from spirit. So the living heart is to become conscious. Conscious of this denseness in our hearts that limits us from being open and receptive to beauty, and open and receptive to the music and harmony that is within beauty. Consider that in the prayer psalm, we pray, raise us above the denseness of the earth. Thy beauty do we worship. The full passage of this portion of the prayer begins with praise, and it is this: praise be to thee, most supreme God, omnipotent, omnipresent, all-pervading, the only being. Take us in thy parental arms. Raise us from the denseness of the earth. Thy beauty do we worship. To thee do we give willing surrender. So when we catch that moment of conscious awareness of the denseness of our limited self that can trap us in conditions of life that cause us a heavy heart or an inner disharmony, we can turn to this prayer. This is one of our methods of practice, prayer. In prayer, in conscious surrender, we loosen the dense, heavy earth of our limited self, and we raise our consciousness toward that divine ideal of spiritual attainment, which in the Sufi message of Hazrat Inayat Khan is the perfection of love, harmony, and beauty. So continuing with Murshid's words, beauty is born of harmony. What is harmony? Harmony is right proportion. In other words, right rhythm. And what is life? Life is the outcome of harmony. The whole secret of creation is harmony. To attain spirituality is to realize that the whole universe is one symphony in which every individual is one note. One's happiness lies in becoming perfectly harmonious with the symphony of the universe. Music is the miniature of the whole harmony of the universe, for the harmony of the universe is music itself, and a person, being the miniature of the universe, must show the same harmony. In their pulsation, in the beat of their heart, and in their vibration, they show rhythm and tone, harmonious or inharmonious chords. Music helps us to train ourselves in some way or other in harmony, and it is this which is the secret behind music. When you hear music, it tunes you and puts you in harmony with life. So Murshid says music is the harmony of the universe. And he's not speaking only about the music that is produced by a person singing or playing a musical instrument. This is one aspect of our training. In the teachings of Hazrat Inayat Khan, music is all around us in the natural world. I just heard the bird singing. And broader still, music is all around us in the nature of the ocean of life. This means all conditions of life. And even those disharmonious conditions that can really challenge us to see and hear the beauty and harmony that may be hidden within that. And I think we've been talking about that in some of our weeks too. So we can only see and hear these subtleties of beauty and harmony if our heart is open and receptive. Murshid. Music develops that faculty by which one learns to appreciate all that is good and beautiful. What deprives one of the beauty around one is their heaviness of body or heaviness of heart. They are pulled down to earth, and by that everything becomes limited. When they shake off that heaviness, they feel joyous. They feel light. All good tendencies such as gentleness and tolerance, forgiveness, love, and appreciation, all these beautiful qualities come by being light. Light in mind, soul, and body. And here, when Murshid Inayat Khan speaks about being light, it is not limited to that feeling of lightness as in the weight of denseness. As we hear this passage, this next passage, we may consider that he is also speaking about the joyous, radiant light of being, that light and life that we breathe in the practice of the purification breaths. Murshid. Where does music come from? It all comes from the natural spiritual life which is within. When that spiritual life springs forth, it lightens all the burdens that one has. It makes one's life smooth, floating on the ocean of life. The faculty of appreciation makes one light. Life is just like the ocean. When there is no appreciation, no receptivity, a person sinks like a piece of iron to the bottom of the sea. They cannot float like the boat, which is hollow, which is receptive. So we may lighten our hearts of the denseness of the ego self and any earthly conditions of life that may be heavy upon our hearts, with a commitment to practice tuning our mind and heart to beauty. I think we had that opportunity this morning with the Bismillah. I think we all felt that and singing that. And as we practice appreciating beauty, we might even take note or journal our experiences. I think Chanda does this work in the world through her service of forest bathing and the many levels of that. So I'm planning to consciously practice this myself. And if you'd like to join me in the coming weeks in your own world and experiences, we might share some of these in a future gathering during this time. We'll begin by preparing our hearts for this, to be open and receptive to beauty. Remember, we can do this through the prayer, song, praying, raise us above the denseness of the earth. Thy beauty do we worship. To thee do we give willing surrender. We can do this on our walks in nature, that aspect of surrendering to the beauty that is all around us. And in this Sufi lineage, we also practice the vibration of sacred sound, of the divine names of Allah. So today we're going to use the divine name Fatah. And in one voice that is part of a choral composition by Murshid Inayat Khan, who is the son of Hazrat Pir Murshid Inayat Khan. So as we do this practice, feel the vibration of that sound, fa-ta. When we sing it, it'll have a different quality than me speaking it, certainly. But feel the resonance of that sound, the ah sound in fa-ta, in your physical being, in your heart, physical heart, but also feel the resonance of that in the deeper spiritual heart, which is in the solar plexus region of our body. The simple meaning of fatah, which I think most of us here are familiar with, but means to begin, to open. And so we're calling upon fatah, the one who opens. We are emptying and surrendering the denseness that may weigh heavily upon our heart and minds in this moment, so we may be hollowed in receptivity. Think of your heart as that hollow boat floating on the ocean of life, open and receptive. Turn toward the beauty of the heavenly sky, the open, vast sky, the light upon light of the sun, the stars, the galaxies, open and tuning to the all-pervading life in space that resounds with the music of love, harmony, and beauty. Ya Fatah. So the melody goes like this, and Farhad's going to drum to help keep us on rhythm. So let me find it. And as you hear it, you may join in. I think that'll work. Ya Fatah, Ya Fatah, Ya Fatah, Ya Fatah, Ya Fatah. Ya Fatah, 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 be the hollow instruments that resound with the music of love, harmony, and beauty. Amen.